The Trump administration is touting a new immigration plan as a win for economic growth. So what are the details of the new immigration policy? I'm Veronica Dudo. Let's find out.
This is In America Today from the Ticker News Studios in New York City.
President Donald Trump has announced a new Gold Card visa program offering a path to U.S. citizenship for foreign investors willing to pay $5 million. The initiative, set to replace the 35-year-old EB-5 visa program, aims to attract high net worth individuals who can boost the American economy through investment and job creation. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says the new program will streamline the process, eliminate fraud, and ensure only serious investors gain permanent residency. Here's the president discussing the gold cards.
And I think it's going to be very treasured. I think it's going to do very well. And we're going to start selling, hopefully, in about 2 weeks. Now, just so you understand, if we sell 1 million, right, 1 million, that's $5 trillion. 5 trillion. Howard was using a different number, but that's $5 trillion. If we sell 10 million, which is possible, 10 million highly productive people coming in, or people that we're going to make productive. They'll be young, but they're talented, like a talented athlete. That's $50 trillion. That means our debt is totally paid off, and we have $15 trillion above that. And now, I don't know that we're going to sell that many. Maybe we won't sell many at all, but I think we're going to sell a lot.
For more, I'm joined by Silicon Valley entrepreneur and U.S. Vietnam relations advocate Allison Huynh. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Veronica.
So a lot of big numbers there from the president talking about the possibilities of this new program. Let's talk a little bit first. What's the primary goal of the Trump Gold Card visa, and how does it differ from the EB-5 program?
Yes, this is a great golden opportunity, golden ticket for immigrants who want to come into our country and make a difference. And I love how President Trump, again, is flipping an issue that is very divisive, whether it's immigration, HB1 visa, EB-5 visa, and flipping on its head. Look, immigration to the greatest country on earth needs to have a price. I liken this to how my children, I have a teenage daughter who treats my clothes, and she would borrow my clothes and put it on the washing machine, dryer machine, and my beautiful wool dress shrinks down to this tiny size. When I force her to actually work and then she buys a dress, the way she treats it is so much better. You know, she works a whole month to get like $500. She spends it on her own clothes. She really covets and treats it a lot better. That's how we need to treat immigration. When immigrants come into this country for free, illegally, they use and abuse the U.S. system. We see that all the time, the education, the healthcare system, the housing system. And we're having, all these problems in our sanctuary cities. Why don't we flip that and charge people $5 million to enter the country and have this path to citizenship? Again, President Trump shows that he's very creative. He's flipping the script with very difficult topics, whether it is the workers, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips, right? He flips the scripts. He's flipping the script again with immigration. I think it's a very creative idea. I think we will sell a lot of visas, whether it's 1 million or 5 million. It will generate trillions of dollars, much needed in the U.S. to put down on the debt, to pay for very wonderful, creative ideas that we have, whether helping us to get to, the moon again, Mars, buying Greenland, securing national security all around the world. We need money to do all our wonderful projects that our visionary president wants us to do. And we can't be just giving away one of the best things in the world, which is the path to U.S. citizenship for free, just like my children. If you give them something for free and you don't force them to work for it, they don't know any better, and they're going to use and abuse the system.
Now, why was the decision made to raise this investment or potentially payment requirement from approximately $1 million to $5 million?
Yeah, so this idea came from EB5. And so EB5 is something that's been around for 35 years, and it's a very slow process. Basically, it's $1 million investment into the US, and you have to wait anywhere from like 3 to 5 years to get to your path of citizenship. The Golden Visa is different because it's a $5 million purchase from the US government. So this doesn't go into business. This, I believe, from what I read, goes into the US Treasury. So the government can then pay down the debt, can invest in other projects, maybe a US sovereign wealth fund. So that way we can buy TikTok from the Chinese. That way we can buy Greenland from Denmark. All these very expensive endeavors and big picture things that we need to do. And the EB5, it's just fraught with like a lot of fraud. It's very long. And then, it's very cyclical too. Like the way that people invest in the business, is it really into a business that is creating jobs, or is it, some type of money laundering? This program and the H-1B visa, they have been fraught with abuse. Steve Bannon's been talking a lot about these visas. A lot of people in MAGA world has. This is a new program, and it's very direct, okay? If you have $5 million to buy a U.S. Path to U.S. citizenship, that means you have more money to invest in U.S. businesses. That means, look, you have a lot of value to add. That means you can support your kids, or you can buy a path to citizenship for your kids, for your employees, if you want to do business in the U.S. And people who pay for things, at the end of the day, I know we don't want to say it because maybe we feel like it goes against our Christian value. But from my experience, when people pay a lot of money for something, they covet, they treat it a lot better. Just like I was mentioning with my lovely teenage daughter, I'm not going to say her name, and I hope other people have a similar experience. But when I, allow her to have access to certain things from my closet, whereas if she's paying for it, she treats her own stuff a lot better after we force them to pay $500 or $5 million for whatever they need to their path of citizenship.
So definitely a very relatable example there. And when we look at some of the numbers, we were listening to President Trump talk about it. Not only could this potentially erase that $36 trillion in debt that the United States currently faces, but there could even be a surplus. But of course, there are some critics, and they are arguing that this policy creates a system where only the ultra wealthy can buy their way into citizenship. How do you respond to that criticism? And aren't there other immigration paths currently?
Yes, there are other immigration paths currently, but currently we have open borders until just very recently when Tom Homan and Kristi Noem's of Homeland Security, they're working so hard in the last month with POTUS to close down the open borders. And let's just very briefly review the policies of open borders, open sanctuary cities, and the cause and the mess that they've caused in our country. I'm talking to you from San Francisco. It's one of the, I guess, most famous sanctuary cities in the world that's affected by open borders, open sanctuary cities, open drug plazas, and they all feed into each other, right? Because when we have a flood of these immigrants that are coming into their country unchecked, who are they? Well, I'll tell you, look outside my window in San Francisco. They're drug dealers, they're criminals. And so this is who we're letting into our country. Yes, a small percentage of them are wonderful, hardworking people and migrant farm workers and this and that. But for the most part, the data shows that the illegal immigrants who are coming in here are basically prisoners from other countries that they don't want to pay for and house. And so they just throw them into the U.S. and give it to us for the problem. It's like, no, this is the best country. Make America great again. We can't be be housing other people from other countries who are not productive, who are criminals, who are here to rob and destroy our country. Yes, we have room for immigrants, but if you have our values of being productive, of being entrepreneurial, are you going to invest in American systems and American values? What's so wrong with that?
Allison Huynh, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Veronica.
This is Ticker. We'll be right back.